Okay, in example 3, we are going to talk about the cost of doing a job, and then you will be using area in real life. 2 coats of paint are to be applied to this wall. Determine the number of cans of paint needed and the total cost. So, if we're going to use composite or net areas, you can make this into a triangle and find the area of that triangle. So you would need the base times height divided by 2. Height would be 19 minus 12, which would be 7 feet from here to here. And your base is 25 feet, so base times height divided by 2 gives you that area. And then this rectangle is 12 by 25, so it's 12 times 25 to get the area of that rectangle. And then these are squares because it says these perpendicular sides to each other are equal. So if that's 36 inches and that's 36 inches, then you'd multiply 36 inches times 36 inches to get length times width. Now, the problem here is, I guess I didn't have to do all that. This is inches, and this is inches, and everything else is in feet. So we're going to have to convert the inches to feet. Now, it might make better sense to calculate the areas in inches and then convert it to feet, but then you'd be in area, and if you're converting in the second dimension, it's a little more complicated than converting in the first dimension. So we will convert it right now. So 36 inches is equal to blank amount of feet. So this is what we want to find. 36 inches is equal to how much feet? Well, what do we know? What's equivalent in feet and inches? We know there are, 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So if those are equal and they're on top of each other, that's just like the number 1. So it's like having a 3 over 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So if you want to convert, now we have 36 inches. So here I've got inches on the top. So I have to keep inches on the top over here. Same units on top, same units on bottom. And then I can find X number of feet by cross multiplying. So bracket times bracket equals bracket times bracket. 12 times X equals 1 times 36. Cross multiplying means you multiply the numbers that are up and down from each other and set them equal to the other 2 numbers up and down from each other being multiplied. So 12 times X is 12X. 1 times 36 is 36. Divide both sides by 12. X equals 3. So 36 inches is equal to 3 feet. So we can go back here and say that the length and width of each of these squares is 3 feet. So 3 feet, 3 feet, and this was 19 minus 12 feet, which is 7 feet. So the area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. So it's 25 for the base, and the height was 7 divided by 2 for the area of this triangle. And the area of the rectangle is length times width, 12 times 25. And the area of a little square is length times width, or length times length, because they're both the same. This is 3 feet, this is 3 feet. So 3 times 3, so this is 9. Oops. This is 9. This gives us 87.5, and this gives us 12 times 300. So our total area is going to be the rectangle area plus the big triangle area minus the windows. So minus 9 and then minus 9 again. So area total, or area net, is going to be the area of the big triangle plus the area of the big rectangle minus the area of the square minus the area of the square. So that's going to be 300 plus 87.5. Yes, I can do that in my head. 387.5 minus 9 minus 9, which gives us 387.5 minus 9. 369.5. And this is feet squared. So that's our area. Now, what were we told to find way back here? 2 coats of paint are to be applied to this wall. Determine the number of cans of paint needed and the total cost. So once we know how much area we have to paint, then we can figure out how many cans of paint we need, and then once you know how many cans you need, you can just multiply by the cost of a can. It looks like 1 can, including tax, is $50.20. So let's figure out the area we need, which we almost have done. It's 369.5 square feet to paint it once. So that's 1 coat. So to get 2 coats of paint, that's going to be 369.5 plus 369.5, 739 square feet of paint to do 2 coats. What do we got here? Oh, this is complicated. 1 can will cover 45 square meters. So now we got to convert everything into square meters. So you can look up on the internet or ask me how many square feet are equal to how many square meters. So we've got 739 square feet. That's equal to how many square, oops, stop that. Okay. Square meters. So I looked up on the internet, and it turns out that 1 square meter is equal to 10.7639 square feet. So we can write that 1 square meter over 10.7639 square feet, and that's equal to, we know 739 square feet, so 739 square feet. Keep my feet squared on the bottom because it's on the bottom over there. And then I can cross multiply to find x square meters. And then we can find out how many square meters 739 square feet is equal to. So for cross multiplying, it's going to be 1 times 739. 1 times 739 equals 10.7639 times x. So 1 times 739 is 739. 10.7639 times x is 10.7639x. Now we want to solve for x, so you want to get rid of the 10.7639, so do the opposite operation. Since that 10 is being multiplied by the x, the opposite operation is dividing by the 10.7639, which you do to one side, you do to the other, or by grade 12, you know, you just divide by the number in front of the x. Those cancel. 739 divided by 10.7639 is 68.6554, and I'm having 4 numbers after the decimal if I'm rounding, because it's not my final answer yet. So this means that 739 square feet, 739 square feet is equal to 68.6554 square meters. Now, how many square meters did 1 can cover? What are we doing here? 1 can covers 45 square meters. 45 square meters is covered by 1 can. We have 68.6554 square meters. So we want to know that's equal to X amount of cans. So once again, we can cross multiply. 45 square meters is equal to 1 can. We have 68.6554 square meters is equal to X number of cans. So cross multiplying 45 times X equals 1 times 68.6554. So 45x equals 68.6554. You want to get the x by itself, so you want to get rid of the 45. So you divide both sides by 45. And then x equals 68.6554 divided by 45, which is 1.5257 cans of paint. Well, guess what? You got to leave some room for error, and they're not going to let you buy 0.5 of a can of paint. So therefore, you have to buy 2 cans of paint. Now, what did the question ask us? Determine the number of cans of paint needed and the total cost. So 1 can is $50.20, so you can multiply that by 2 in your head and get $100.40, I guess. Or we can do it on paper and show our steps. 40, so it was 50? $50.20 is 1 can of paint. So times 2, so $100.40 is 2 cans of paint, and we saw from the tag that they already factored in the tax. So that's the total cost to paint the side of that house. Hopefully you're not paying for labor, you can do it yourself.